Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, fellow dregs of society. Welcome, all you rock dwellers, you sycophants, you stinkos, all you hateful people who are celebrating the president and honoring America. You're always welcome here, and this is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, and joining me as my co-host is the patriot from the battle-born state, the silver state of Nevada, and that's Sharron Engel. Sharron, welcome back to Conservative Commandos.
Thank you, Rick, and I hope you'll let me do a little ranting today. I don't do much, but I have to tell you, when our governor came out and said all Nevadans now have to wear masks. Any place you go, you have to wear a mask. I'm surprised he didn't say even in your own home, but he hasn't said that, and he hasn't said in your vehicle either. But as far as going to any store, they're saying, nope, you got to have your mask. And it's kind of arbitrary even at that, because I think it depends on who's running the show at the store, if they are enforcing or not. I think they realize that an edict like this is not law. The governor is calling a special session, but they're not in session yet, and they don't have on their agenda masks. They have on agenda taxes, because as you know, all of this is costing us money. So they're thinking now's a good time to get after it. But what I did was I decided if they're going to make me wear a mask to go in and buy food, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. So I wrote up a little article here, and it's not by me. It's just a compilation. It's 2 pages. I couldn't make it any shorter. And it's titled, Why I'm Not Wearing a Mask. And I took this, it's a complete plagiarism. It's not mine. I gave him complete credit, this Michael Robertson, who wrote it. He's from San Diego. And he's saying, while it seems logical to say that we're protecting others as well as ourselves by wearing masks, he says the science says that's false. Wearing a mask does not reduce influenza infection rate, according to an examination of 10 studies looking at this claim. Furthermore, he says with that transmission rate of only 0.2% in an active social arena, such as a school without masks, it's easy to see how wearing masks in a casual environment would not reduce flu infection rates. Specifically, since the likelihood of infection from a brief interaction, such as a store, is so small it makes masks irrelevant. Then I got a little article up here at the top, this nice little colored one. It's from the EMTs. This is going out on Facebook, and they've been trying to debunk this thing. But I'm telling you, if emergency medical technicians are telling me this, I think there might be something to it. So I'm just going to say what they're saying. There's 6 things they say that we should know about our safety with these masks. The first, a mask decreases the oxygen intake. So you're not going to get as good a breath if you're breathing through something as if you're just breathing. It says, too, that it increases toxin inhalants, because what you breathe out, you're also breathing in. So when your body naturally breathes out a toxin, it doesn't expect to get it right back. And a mask makes it come right back in. It also shuts down your immune system in some ways because of the same thing. You're just bombarding it with stuff that it wants to get rid of. Fourth, it increases the virus risk. Hello, if you had that virus,
wow.
It says it encourages triggering and infection from dormant retroviruses already in the body, and taking advantage of the weakened immune system due to the mask wearing. So, and then it's scientifically inaccurate. And finally, the effectiveness of a mask has not been studied. They don't really know if this is going to help with COVID-19. And in fact, one of the studies of 1,607 medical care workers, they found that the cloth masks, like that one you've got there, lead to a higher respiratory infection rate. The rate of influenza-like illnesses is statistically and significantly higher with cloth masks, they concluded. So then I went to our friends at CNN because I thought these guys are going to nail me for being a conservative. So I'm just going to say what the liberals say. So the World Health Organization say people should still recommend that people not wear masks unless they are sick with COVID-19 or caring for someone who is sick. Masks may actually increase your coronavirus risk if worn improperly, the Surgeon General warns. He says, this is the Surgeon General, there is no specific evidence to suggest that wearing a mask by the mass population has any potential benefit. In fact, there's some evidence to suggest the opposite in the misuse of wearing a mask properly or fitted it properly. And finally, I'll just say this, that if you're going to wear the mask, he says that homemade or purchased masks can be uncomfortable and leading wearers to adjust them often. Or you might take a mask off to eat and then put it back on, and that just defeats the purpose. People contaminate themselves more by touching the mask and taking it off and on their face. So, this is what you've got to do. If you're going to don the mask, avoid touching your face while wearing one. Wash your hands before putting that mask on, and then try not to touch the mask. And if you do, wash your hands again. Discard the mask as soon as it's damp. To remove it, handle the elastic around your ears, not the front of the mask. Throw it away immediately, either in a closed plastic bag or a bin with a lid, and then wash your hands again. Don't reuse the mask. So the whole thing is
hazardous waste.
Pardon me? Yes.
Does it become hazardous waste?
That's what they're saying, that there's so many germs on that mask from breathing the germs onto it as you walk through, and from breathing your germs out into it. Plus, you make it moist. As your breath makes it moist, it creates an atmosphere for these bugs to just go nuts growing in there. So yes, it becomes hazardous to your health to touch that mask. So don't do that. And if you do, take it off, put it in a plastic bag, throw it in a bin, wash your hands, and get a clean mask. And I was talking to a healthcare worker. This is another thing I didn't mention, but healthcare workers have to take an annual test called a PDF to prove that they can properly fit and seal an N95 mask. So, they all take these precautions to know how to wear that mask properly. And then they're even told, don't wear them more than 10 minutes at a time if you can help it, because you get lightheaded, you get headaches, stuff like that. It's not good for you to wear that mask. So that I'm just going to do my civic duty, which is to help those guys that are telling me wear a mask, to know why it's hazardous to your health. Don't be doing it just because some silly governor is politically correct and has mandated it. At least he didn't say all you guys except the black guys. That was the one that just killed me when that Oregon official said everybody wears masks except the blacks. What?
Right.
Are they trying to kill, if they really believe this is good for your health, are they trying to kill black people off? What's their underlying purpose here? Sorry, there's my rant.
By the way, Sharron, we had a guest on yesterday, Patrick Wood. He's from the First Amendment Society yesterday. And in his article, he's talking about face mask. OSHA. Now, this comes from the OSHA website. Plainly states that cloth face mask, quote, will not protect the wearer against airborne transmittable infectious agents due to loose fit, a lack of seal, or inadequate filtration. But what about surgical masks? OSHA is clear here also that they, quote, will not protect the wearer against airborne transmittable infectious agents due to the loose fit and the lack of a seal and inadequate filtration. Masks do no good.
I had a friend last night, I gave her this. She says, I want that, because she walked into Walmart and they said, get your mask on. So she grabbed one of those paper towels, you know, where you have the disinfectant for the cart and washing your hands. And then you got a dry paper towel. So she grabbed the dry paper towel, stuck it up under her sunglasses, and went on in.
There you go. Hey,
and
Sharron,
I said, actually, that's probably a better resolution for the situation than wearing a cloth mask or one that you've reused, set on the seat or handled a lot, because at least when you get done, if you haven't touched that paper towel, you can throw it in the garbage, get another one of those disinfectants, wash your hands, and you're probably in better shape than the guy with the cloth mask running around.
Right. Hey, Sharron, can you share that on our website, your sheet?
Oh, my little sheet.
Yeah, can you share it on our website?
Sure. Just
right,
don't give me any credit for it, because I told you I didn't do this. I made sure I gave CDC and CNN and also this fellow Michael Robertson credit for saying why we don't need masks.
Well, Sharron, let's take our first break. On the other side, we'll tell our audience who our guests are for today. We got 3 great returning guests. But you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Today's show, like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. Sharron and I will be right back.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The secret war is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And you know the hallmark of our show is our great guest. But if you'd like to recommend someone you would like us to interview, please send us an email. It gets to me by the email address is auntv@yahoo.com. auntv@yahoo.com. It's running right there at the bottom of your screen. Let us know who you think we should have on as a guest. Maybe you want to be a guest here on Conservative Commandos. Could probably make that happen. But Sharron, speaking of our guests, who will we be speaking with today?
Well, we've got three longtime friends with us today. The first is Congressman Bob Barr, who represented Georgia's 7th District in the House of Representatives from 1995 to 2003. He now practices law in Atlanta, Georgia, and is the chairman of Liberty Guard, a nonprofit pro-liberty organization. He also heads the Law Enforcement Education Foundation and consulting firm, Liberty Strategies. And he's written an article, The Dumbest Generation Grows Even Dumber. And the second guest that we have is Tim Bryce, who is an avid writer and speaker discussing everything from business and management to politics and morality and systems and technology. And he has a blog entitled The Bryce is Right, which is read by thousands of people worldwide. He's also published a new book, Before You Vote, Know How Your Government Works, What American Youth Should Know About the Government. Mm-hmm. And he's written an article, The Summer of Hate. The Summer of Hate. I wonder if he's going to talk about the Summer of Love. Now, our third guest is Rachel Alexander, and she's a political columnist and the founder and editor of Intellectual Conservative. She's a regular contributor to Town Hall, the Celis Foundation for Public Policy Research, the Christian Post, and Right Wing News. She frequently appears on TV and news and radio as a commentator. She also was a radio show host herself at 960 KKNT in Phoenix, and she was the Assistant Attorney General in the state of Arizona and also an attorney for GoDaddy Software. She has written an article, The Left, Jussie Smolletted Me. And I'm looking forward to all of these guests today to talk about, of course, the current events.
All right. So again, three great guests joining us once again. Well, Sharron, we're seeing this around the country, these safe havens, these safe zones, these police-free zones. But apparently they're not so safe after all.
Well, not really. We now have two black Americans dead in Seattle, and they're both young men. One 16 years old, with a friend 14 years old, who was also shot and is in critical condition. And then, of course, a 19-year-old killed a few days ago. And I just got to give it a shout out and a real commendation to District Attorney David Prater in Oklahoma City, because he got criticized because he's filing criminal charges against protesters. He says these criminals, he doesn't even call them protesters now, so good on him. He says these criminals have subverted peaceful protests and impaired the open discussion regarding race in our country. When you act like a terrorist, you will be treated like a terrorist. All innocent citizens of Oklahoma City deserve to be protected. The citizens of Oklahoma County have a legal and constitutional right to personal safety and protection of property, he said. And I'll tell you, it's interesting, but the whiners on the left came right out after him and said, filing criminal charges against protesters is deeply disturbing, heartbreaking, and an instance of oppression. It's revealing of the prevalence of systemic racial injustice that these charges were hastily and excessively applied to defenseless adolescents, while a willingness to prosecute bad cops is notably absent. She said, property damage is not terrorism. Well, I beg to differ,
That's
right?
a crime, Sharron. If I come and burn down your house, I'm going to go to jail, right? If I throw a match in your car and start a fire, I'm going to go to jail for that. That's arson. If I come and break your windows, you can have me locked up. Well, this is what is going on here. These are not peaceful. Protesting is one thing. Peaceful protesting is one thing. Violent protesting, like we've seen all around the country, that's crossing the line. They need to be prosecuted. They need to go to jail. They need to pay for their damage. They need to pay a price.
Well, listen to what she calls property damage. 3 protesters were arrested Friday and charged with terrorism, 4 with rioting, and 1 with assault and battery upon a police officer after the demonstrations in Oklahoma City. Another 5 people were charged with inciting a riot over an incident last week during the painting of a street mural outside the police headquarters. So, it's a myriad of things. He's saying this is not just, you broke a window. Come on. This is true damage here. And it's not a kid throwing a ball and accidentally breaking a window. It's people picking up bricks and rocks and damaging businesses beyond repair. I still think back to that woman who came crying out of her business, calling them liars. You lie. You lie. You say that Black Lives Matter. I'm a Black woman, and my life doesn't matter to you because you just destroyed my business. You just destroyed my life. I can't
Sharron,
get over it.
You know what I want to know? Where are the mothers and the fathers? Do you remember that lady down in Baltimore who went into a mob and grabbed her son, slapped him across the butt and said, go home. Go home. You're not to have any part of this. Where are the parents? Where is the responsible individuals in the community? It's your community. It's your community that they're destroying. Sharron, we got to take a break, and you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we'll be speaking with former Congressman Bob Barr about an article he wrote, The Dumbest Generation Grows Even Dumber. What a sad analogy of our society today. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our guest.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day, and for as little as $1.99 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for a rebroadcast of our show, be it our radio show or our TV show, place to go is our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. And Sharron, our first guest of the day, is with us, and the honor of that introduction's all yours.
It is an honor for me to introduce our longtime friend, Congressman Bob Barr, who represented Georgia's 7th District in the House of Representatives from 1995 to 2003. He now practices law in Atlanta, Georgia, and is the chairman of Liberty Guard, a nonprofit pro-liberty organization. He also heads the Law Enforcement Education Foundation and a consulting firm, Liberty Strategies. Congressman Barr, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Great to be with you and Rick once again. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's always our pleasure, and you write the best articles sometimes. These are amazing, and this one, we're always talking about our generations. I'm a boomer, and I know we've got millennials, but this article says the dumbest generation grows even dumber. Now, I've not heard that applied to this generation. Tell us which generation you're talking about and why they're dumb.
Well, it's a very good question because the lines are blurred when we talk now about one generation being not so bright and another. The title of my article, The Dumbest Generation, came from a book that a friend of mine who happens to be a professor at Emory University here in Atlanta wrote 12 years ago called The Dumbest Generation. And Mark Bauerlein is his name, and he was writing about how the reliance or over-reliance on internet and social media, which 12 years ago was just getting started, was really dumbing down the millennial generation. And I thought of his book the other day when I was looking at some of the things that adults are doing in our society, and it struck me that many adults now in academia in particular, but even in government and some of the mainstream media are not only encouraging and facilitating this dumbness on the part of the younger generation, but many of these adults seem to be infected by it themselves. You look at what's going on with, burning and tearing down statues without any regard for history or common sense. And adults, as I say, particularly in universities, seem to be encouraging what these young people are doing. They've sort of thrown in with the children nowadays.
They sort of have. You know, when I was raising my children, we got very alarmed in the 80s about dumbing down. It seemed like test scores were not important anymore. You just dumb down the test so that everybody could pass. It seemed like passing wasn't really, that was the goal, but it didn't matter what you did to pass. It didn't matter that you qualified to pass, just that you were passed on. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we were afraid that they were dumbing our children down by the classes that they were taking. And I guess that has really actually happened. You said some things in this article about the protesters, and they seem to be these millennials that are locked up in their social media. And I want to get into that aspect of it, of the dumbing down. You start out with the enablers. So let's start there with the enablers. How dumb are they, the ones in Seattle, specifically the Seattle mayor?
It really is. I mean, it's hard to believe that an adult, and particularly an elected official, could be as dumb as Jenny Durkan, who is the mayor, the real bona fide mayor of Seattle. When this mob took over a section of downtown Seattle, this is a major metropolitan area, her response was, "Oh, they're patriotic. It will be a summer of love." I mean, all that does, one, it illustrates to everybody how dumb you are in saying such a thing, but it simply encourages these people who took over that city to continue doing it and basically thumbing their nose, so to speak, at the authorities.
Well, and you specifically talk about the safe space that she created for them by just giving them really a blank check to go into that city and do whatever they pleased.
This notion of safe spaces is troubling as well. It started out several years ago here again in our universities, and it's bad enough that young adults in a university would require a safe space where they can go and cry or hug each other or whatever, probably just sleep, in order to insulate themselves from the rigors of academia, being exposed to ideas or statements or a philosophy that they find offensive. Well, it's bad enough for the students to want to do that, but what makes it even worse is the fact that the university administrators allow it. They're the ones that cave in and say, "Oh, okay, you can have this part of this student union center to have as your safe space." Well, now it's gone outside in Seattle. We have, I was reading, a large safe space in a park in this portion of Seattle. It's been taken over by the mob, and they have set it aside as a safe space, not just for anybody, but only for blacks, so that they can go here. And, you know, here again, you read this stuff and you say, this can't be true, but it is. They had white young people who were guarding this black safe space park so that people who weren't black or who, get this, had not been subject to oppression as blacks, whatever that means, nobody but those people could go in. I mean, it has become so nonsensical, Sharron, that it's, as I say, it's hard to believe that this stuff is real when you read it, but it is.
Well, and it doesn't seem to be a very safe space. We've had 2 murders now in that safe space, and they're crying about the police aren't there to keep the space safe anymore. And what are we going to do about that? So, you know, it seems a real irony to me that what they're calling a safe space is a place that you probably shouldn't go.
Of course, a lot of these cities run by Democrats, almost all of the cities where we're having these sorts of problems, are run by Democrats and have been for quite some period of time. And the cities themselves are not safe. I mean, you take a look, for example, at Chicago with the tragic murders that go on every week, every weekend, including young children being shot in drive-by shootings or accidental shootings by gangs or whatnot. And you see that now playing out in a city within a city, so to speak. You have one of these Democrat-run cities that has a high crime rate. Now you have this sort of safe space carved out by this mob within the city, and they're having violence and murders, and the police can't get in there to, one, help the people, the victims, if they are victims, and secondly, they cannot properly cordon off a crime scene so that they can gather evidence properly to bring to justice those people that harmed and in some cases now murdered people within this so-called safe space. So it's really bizarre.
Well, this is an interesting sentence. The profound historical and cultural illiteracy of these young mobs repeatedly is confirmed by actions. Talk about that.
It would be, here again, it would be one thing if these mobs said, okay, we don't like the fact that a Confederate general who fought against the Union has a statue erected to him in a city, and we think it ought to be taken down. And that's one thing. It's quite another then for them to take the law into their own hands and destroy the statue. But what moves this whole scenario from the perspective or the notion of really stupid to sheer lunacy is the fact that these people don't seem to have any ability or willingness to distinguish between a statue of a Civil War general and a statue of a contemporary singer, Stevie Ray Vaughan, for example. And it just illustrates profoundly the utter ignorance of what these mobs are doing. And of course, as we've talked about previously, they are being encouraged and led to some degree by organizations that purport to further racial justice, but who at their heart are simply Marxist, anti-capitalism, anti-American organizations.
Well, we're up against a break. We are talking with our good friend, Congressman Bob Barr, about an article he wrote, The Dumbest Generation Grows Even Dumber. And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Show Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, for rebroadcast of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. You'll find rebroadcast of our radio show there, our TV show there, as well as a lot of other terrific articles and great information. Former Congressman Bob Barr is joining us. He represented Georgia's 7th Congressional District in the House of Representatives. He's the chairman of Liberty Guard, and he also heads the Law Enforcement Education Foundation. Congressman Barr, thank you for holding through that break. We really do appreciate your time. Congressman, you and Sharron were talking about these safe spaces in Seattle where only blacks can go. Unfortunately, that isn't unique to Seattle. Harvard University has an area on their campus which is a safe space for black students that white students are discouraged from entering. So I have to ask you about academia's role in the dumbing down of making this the dumbest generation.
Academia really has been in the forefront of this movement towards the dumbing down of our society, really generally, for many, many years. As Sharron mentioned, she's a one of the a baby boomer, as I am.
As I am.
I don't know, maybe you're a millennial. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I wish. I don't want to say I wish I were, but I really like where I'm at right now. So
well, and
we'll settle on that.
I'm glad where you are right now, also. But back when I went to school, I went to college in the late 1960s and then the early 70s. And back then, I went to a conservative school, the University of Southern California. And I think it still is one of the relatively few schools that has at least some degree of conservatism. But the so-called Ivy League schools and many of those so-called elitist schools on the East Coast and Northeast in particular really have gone out of their way to dumb down not only students coming in, but students on the back end graduating. And test after test after test, objective tests that is, have shown that the students are not only not learning anything of real value, but in many respects, they learn less than they did even in high school. I mean, it's just bizarre. Our whole education system seems to have been turned on its head.
Mm-hmm. I think another problem, Congressman, is that the students are so influenced by these professors. And generally, by and large, these professors are products of the hippie generation. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to know where the hippies go? Well, they didn't stay in Woodstock, all right? They're now in every college and university, and they have taught others that are now teaching these students basically to hate the country, as I see it. You know, so what can we do? I mean, where can we get a balance in the education system, in our college campuses, in our high schools, even in our grammar schools? Congressman, being a videographer, once I was hired by a man who was announcing his run for Congress. And after he made his announcement and his speech, you know, he was taking questions and answers, which led into a general conversation about why the Constitution wasn't being taught in school. And this one lady, she was visibly getting upset by this conversation. And she stood up and she said, I want you to know, I'm a third grade teacher. I teach the Constitution in my classroom. But to do so, I have to close my door so my peers and the administration don't find out what I'm doing in the classroom. This is, wow, you want to know where these kids are being dumbed down? I would venture guess a very good place is the classroom.
And you're absolutely correct. And I'm glad you pointed that out. We've been sort of focusing on institutions of so-called higher learning, universities and colleges, but it really does start much, much earlier. And it's not simply the lack of basics that the students are being taught, but fundamental civics and history of our country. I recall back when I was in the Congress, this would have been probably 20 years ago, Rick, visiting a school. I think it was a middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And I was there at the beginning of the day in a classroom, and the bell rang, and they then had the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, of course, I stood for the Pledge of Allegiance. Most of the students just sat there. And I asked the teacher, I said, don't they have to stand? Well, no, we can't make them stand. So not only are they not learning anything from an academic standpoint, but they are not being taught any reverence or respect for our country. And that's the environment, that's the milieu, as they might say in academia, in which these Marxist-led groups like Black Lives Matter, which is a Marxist-led group, that's where they are gaining their influence.
Congressman, I can't let you go without bringing this up. You had the Law Enforcement Education Foundation across the country, Minneapolis, New York, Philadelphia, they're talking about defunding police departments. And I just want to get your views on this.
It is beyond stupid. It is lunacy. You can't have, and our founders recognized this, to have a society in which freedom and independence can flourish as ours is intended to do. You have to have a degree of order. Otherwise, you have anarchy. Otherwise, you have a society in which freedom cannot survive. You have to have that degree of order in your society. And in our system, our federal system, we have federal police, which have a very limited role. You have state police, which have a very limited role at the state level. And the primary responsibility and authority for ensuring safety in our communities is local police. And yet you have these municipal governments, again, whether it's Minneapolis, St. Paul, or these other cities, Seattle or whatnot, where they are actually listening to the mob and moving to dramatically cut back funding for the police, or in some cases doing away with them entirely. This is a recipe for absolute disaster.
Congressman, I'll take it one step further. I accuse myself, and others have accused me too, of thinking too far outside the box. Barack Obama, when he was president, talked about a national police force. And I just wonder if by defunding the local police departments, if this isn't going to create a crisis of crime, and then you're going to have people calling for stricter law enforcement. And of course, the people on the left will say, well, we need the federal government to take control of policing our communities and our cities, which will lead to a national police force. And when you get a national police force, who leads it? The people who are in charge of the government, who I believe already have too much power. I'm seeing this setting us up for a very, very slippery slope. And I'll ask you, Congressman, am I thinking a little too far outside the box on this one?
No, you're not thinking outside the box. You're thinking ahead to the logical conclusion of where this move to defund police would take us. The folks who would be in charge of in the scenario that you've outlined, which is not beyond imagination at all, would be the deep state. It would be those people who are either in government or who are going to go into the federal government who believe that they know best. As John McLaughlin, the former acting director of the CIA, said, I think it was last year, in a public interview, thank God for the deep state, because they know best.
Oh,
they
you're right.
Control everything, and that indeed is where we're heading if we don't get a handle on this thing pretty darn quick, Rick.
Congressman Bob Barr, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. Please tell our audience how they can keep up with you, what you do with Liberty Guard, the law enforcement legal foundation, and also Liberty Strategies.
Thank you, Rick. Of course, the easiest way to stay in touch with what Bob Barr is doing is go to www.bobbarr.org. All of our articles and so forth, but for individuals who are interested in our law enforcement work, they can go to laweef.org. That's short for the Law Enforcement Education Foundation.org. And that also will have the articles that I write for publications. But the best way is just go to Bob Barr or Liberty Guard, which is sort of our umbrella pro-liberty organization that I work with.
Congressman Bob Barr, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Always a pleasure.
And you are listening and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Drader. My co-host is Sharron Engel. On the other side, we're going to have Tim Bryce join us of The Bryce is Right. He's written an article, The Summer of Hate. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, for rebroadcast of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. And with that, Sharron, we have a familiar guest with us, and the honor of the introduction's all yours.
It is my honor to introduce our friend, Tim Bryce, who's an avid writer and speaker discussing everything from business and management to politics and morality, to systems and technology in our ever-changing world. In addition to his columns and blogs entitled The Bryce is Right, which is read by thousands of people worldwide, Tim has been published in a wide range of publications, from the Washington Times to the Huffington Post. And Tim's new book, Before You Vote, Know How Your Government Works. Thanks for showing us, and we'll ask you to show us again a couple of more times during this show.
Well, Tim knows how the Conservative Commandos work, and we always invite our guests to bring the books with them.
That's right. So show us again. This is your latest book. Before You Vote, Know How Your Government Works, What American Youth Should Know About Government.
That's right.
So welcome to the Conservative Commandos radio show, Tim.
Sharron, Rick, always good to be with you folks.
Well, we're interested in your article. Good article entitled The Summer of Hate. And you start out right in my wheelhouse here. I graduated in 1967 from high school when the hippies gathered in San Francisco for the Summer of Love, a phenomena featuring peace, love, music, and dope. That's your opening sentence. And although I'm only a 5-hour drive from San Francisco, my parents were still in charge, and they didn't let me go to the Summer of Love on Haight-Ashbury. I don't know if Rick got to go there. I think he went to
I never.
Woodstock.
Yep. I was at Woodstock. I was the token driver, I was the designated driver for the other 399,999. The other thing I say about it, I went there a virgin and came home a virgin, so that tells you about my youth.
Go figure. Go figure, because Summer of Love didn't mean that. So now you have the Summer of Hate, which I think you're making fun of the mayor of Seattle, who said this was going to be a summer of love in her city, and yet now we've got 2 murders. They're kicking the police out. It just looks like it's a crime scene waiting to happen and happening continually. In your article, though, you talk about our Summer of Love was not accepted by our parents, as I said, but it was a peaceful moment. It was a peaceful protest, I guess.
I remember it well. It reminded like it was yesterday. I can remember Scott McKenzie with the song. My brother had that on 45, and everybody thought, "Hey, this is really cool. This is weird," and. I remember this started Carnaby Street over in London and just became a worldwide phenomenon, But, hey, they weren't trying to, go out and go nuts out there and do a lot of violence and damage. Totally different.
Totally different. So let's talk about the differences. I wanted to first talk about the difference with corporate America.
Yeah,
talk about how they've reacted to this.
Well, everybody is out rebranding everything right now. As you know, Aunt Jemima, of course, and Rice Krispies. And I never did understand the Rice Krispies one. Other ones are going to come along. Eskimo pie. That one really threw me for a loop. Eskimo pie, everybody loved that ice cream. And I don't remember hearing the Eskimos complaining about this or anything like that. I think they kind of like the association. But no, we got to change that. And even the Texas Rangers, that one blew me away too. The Texas Rangers, they said, well, the old original Rangers, where they were all racist and so on. But corporate branding, these guys are scared to death. And Pepsi-Cola, you got to understand, Pepsi-Cola is the one who owns Quaker Oats. They're going through all of their product, all of their stock. All corporate America is going to We're going to have all new products soon. And all these old products that are 100 years old or whatever, things that we've just grown to love over the years. Aunt Jemima, remember, I think it was about 20 years ago, they rechanged the branding name for that. It's really a shame, but this is going to cost billions and billions of dollars to change that. And you think that guys like Procter & Gamble and Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola are going to just eat that expense? I don't think so. It's going to come back to us, the consumer. So I see it as a very inflationary type of things. And again, it's something that, the opposition, the far left, doesn't care about.
Well, this pressure isn't really new. Speaking of 1967, I got my first job out in the public, and it was a public job. I was a waitress. They don't call them that anymore. They call them servers. I was a server at Sambo's. And I don't think anybody knows Sambo's anymore, because they said that story, that childhood story, was too racist, and they closed all the Sambo's down. And so I think they made them 4 seasons or something like that. But so it's not a new phenomena. We've been dealing with this PC stuff now for years and years and years, but I've never seen it so frightening before. It seems like, just frightening to the ridiculous, I guess. You mentioned the world of entertainment. Talk to us about those changes.
Well, yeah, HBO talked about taking MGM's famous Gone with the Wind, which I consider is one of my world's best movies, taking that off there because it talks about slavery and all the other stuff. And then Elmer Fudd taking away a shotgun. I mean, come on. Haven't we got better things to do here? I mean, this is preposterous. Look, why is this happening? It's like the perfect storm, as I like to describe it to people. You know, they couldn't get Trump through the Russian probe. They couldn't get Trump through the impeachment process. And so now they're just desperate and they're creating helter-skelter. This is going to hang on all the way through to Election Day. This is not going to go away anytime soon. This is desperation, what we're seeing flat out, and it's wrong. What we've got going on is anarchy, and I can't believe these mayors, well, they're all Democrats, of course, from the inner cities and so on. They say, let's go ahead and do this. And then they come back and they say, well, now we're going to need taxpayer money to fix everything like that. And I said, well, we wouldn't have this problem if you had control, pal. Where have you been? What don't you understand here? It is madness, you know, what's going on. But their whole philosophy out of there is just attack, attack, attack. And that's all we're going to see. They're going to attack conservatives and the Trump campaign. They're going to be attacking our culture, our sense of right and wrong, our values, our history and icons. Think about it. This is just absolutely ridiculous what they're doing, going after all of the statues and so on. This is being done by a group of, frankly, ignorant people. And I think I told you, we got into this another time I was on the show, that American history over here in high school is taught World War II to the present. Now that means you don't have any concept at all of the Civil War, Reconstruction, the slave issues, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, et cetera, et cetera. They don't know any of this at all. And world history is World War I to the present. Hey, so much for Marco Polo and, you know, the ancient Egyptians and all that stuff. We have no sense of history. And to me, that is so scary. And I watch these punks, and that's really what they are, punks, dragging down these statues. And I go, what in the world are you thinking of? You know, here's my thing to solve it. I did this in college. You know, we'd have a big party outdoors. We always went down to the junkyard, got ourselves a big old-fashioned junk car, and then we had a sledgehammer and say 3 whacks for $1. Okay, just let them go out and vent their anger on an old junk car. Go beat that up. Leave the statues alone, idiot.
Well, I'm not even sure it's really anger. You say, here's a sentence that I thought just kind of summed up the whole thing. Make no mistake. These zones are designed to provoke confrontation with authorities, particularly police. Ideally, the anarchists want to fight, much like the 1968 Chicago DNC riots, to make the police look bad or to ignite a battle featuring lethal weapons. This is scary stuff, Tim.
I know. We're talking about the next shot heard around the world, aren't we? I mean, somebody is going to get mad at some point, and somebody is going to get shot along the way. I saw a terrible video this morning. I think it was out in Los Angeles, and a group of Black Lives Matter attacked this white kid and had him on the ground. They kicked and beat him. It was bloody. It was just absolutely horrible. Now, if somebody had a gun, if I was carrying a gun, I sure as hell would protect myself, you know, and bang, bang, you know. I would have done that. We saw the couple in St. Louis yesterday or day before yesterday trying to protect their house when they come out with guns. You notice they backed down when they saw the guns. And just, why do we have to get to this point? There's going to be a flashpoint. Yes, somebody is going to get shot. Somebody's going to get killed, unfortunately. But then we're going to see what's going to erupt. And by the way, I really do believe the longer the Democrats maintain all of this stuff, the worse it's going to be for them in the fall. Because people are sick of this. They want to say, enough is enough. Come on, guys. This is it. And I go back to, you know, with history, the 1863 riots in New York City, you know, when we had to send in federal troops to quell the Irish who were, you know, rebelling against the first draft that was out there. And, well, the mayor and the governor handled it all wrong. So what happened as a result in the fall there, The mayor got replaced. Whole town council got replaced with Republicans. The governor got replaced. The state assembly got replaced by governors. That's how mad the people got. You're going to see that again. The silent majority is going to wake up. You know, those guys who just work, pay their bills, and they just want peace and prosperity. They don't want any of this nonsense.
That's right. Well, we have to go to a break. We are talking with our guest, Tim Bryce of The Bryce is Right, who has a wonderful new book out called Before You Vote, Know How Your Government Works. Show us that book. It's what America's youth should know about government. And we're talking about an article he wrote, The Summer of Hate. We're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Rick Trader. We'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And welcome back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And want to give a shout out to folks in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., as well as seen on the AUN television network. Tim Bryce is our guest. He is the creator of The Bryce is Right. He's also the author of the new book, Before You Vote, Know Your Government, or Know How Your Government Works. what American youth should know about government. And Tim, thank you for holding your book up. Problem is, government is not being taught in schools. You know that. I know that. But I wanted to talk about your article, This Summer of Hate, and the things that are politically incorrect are racist today. For instance, and you and Sharron talked about some of the things: Cracker Jacks, Rice Krispie, Aunt Jemima, Eskimo pies. PETA is saying that white milk is racist, which is absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Clean is too white. Jack Daniels was a racist. Gone with the wind.
On those, I'm speculating as this is the next thing you're going to hear. Everybody in corporate America is going to be concerned in going over their stockpile to see if they've got any skeletons in their closet on some of these characters, these icons they had. These icons have worked for them for years and years from a marketing perspective, but now they've thrown into question. It's really kind of scary.
Well, Tim, the one I heard yesterday that I thought was really crazy, the term master bedroom. Oh, that now is master bedroom. You're not going to hear the term. You're not going to see the term master bedrooms on realtor sites. That's going by the wayside.
Pull the other one.
What's that?
Pull the other one.
Well, I don't know what you call that big bedroom in your house. I guess they're going to call it the big bedroom in the middle of your house.
Did you see the DNC today came on out against Trump going on out to Mount Rushmore because that is a representation of celebrating white supremacy.
Well, they don't like Trump anyway. I can't
believe they put that in print.
Trump retweeted something he probably didn't really listen to, but it was I think it happened down in your area, Tim, down in the Villages in Florida. There was a parade of golf carts, and they all had Trump flags. And one of the golf carts, as it passed, somebody shouted out white power. And of course, Donald Trump's a racist now for retweeting that. We hear the term black power all the time, Tim. That's great. That should be celebrated. But we can't use the term white power. You know, Tim, when you look across the TV networks, you have Aspire, you have Afro, you have Clio, you have the Black Entertainment Network, you have Telemundo. But I challenge anybody with the name of John White to create a television network and call it the White Television Network. I mean, this has gotten ridiculous. I know. And I would love to be able to have an honest conversation with people from the black community and say, what do you want? What is it you want? I hear the term equality. They want equality. Well, does equality mean you get 12 years of free education? Mm-hmm. Does equality mean that there are laws in place that you cannot be discriminated against because any job you want? Is equality the fact of affirmative action? Is that equality? Because it seems like whenever somebody calls for equality, they want more equal rights. What they really want to do is they want to take my rights away. They claim that there's not enough white coaches in the NBA or the NFL when the majority of the players where the power really is are black. So it's gotten to the point, Tim, where there is no win. There's for people of white people, there's just no win. There is no way we can win. There is no satisfying. And yesterday we had Lloyd Marcus, the unhyphenated American, on, okay, who is a black man. He refuses to be called an Afro-American. He said, I am an American who happens to be black.
Right.
Well, I am an American who's a descendant of slaves. Okay? My first two ancestors into the New World came here as slaves.
Or indentured servants, maybe?
In fact, they were. But they were still slaves.
But they don't know. They don't know this
on a
history.
ship.
They don't understand how that works.
Well, It's just, and you talk about the St. Louis couple who is out there with a gun to protect their house. Do you know the district attorney is looking to prosecute these people? I think that, Tim, I'm going off. I'm sorry, Tim. Usually I like to let our guests do our talking, but I'm rambling a little bit. But I'll tell you what I would love to see Donald Trump do. Drop the slogan of Make America Great Again. We know that one. He needs to run on a slogan of Trump law, order, security. Because I think that could win it for him.
Well, he's also said make America safe again. You've heard that in his campaign thing. Look, also don't forget about the reparations. They're still hitting on reparations, which I think is a joke.
Do I get my share?
Yeah.
Am I going to get my share?
I always wonder about this because my family didn't come here until after World War I. So what the heck do I have to pay for?
Well, I'm all
what do all the Republicans have to pay for? Remember, we were the ones freeing them all. So hey, we're back to the Democrats. Hey, you Democrats, you go pay for all of this stuff.
Tim, I'm all for reparations.
Right.
Anyone who was a slave in 1865. If you were a slave in 1865, I'm all for you getting reparations. All right, but that's. But
all of this helter skelter that's going on right here is nothing more than a smokescreen, and the idea is to just cover their tracks, create bedlam, and get people to be hate Donald Trump more. That's why I went with the Summer of Hate. This is all about hate, and this is a weird political tactic when you think about it. I've never seen a political campaign based on hate alone. You might have to go back to the old, like in the late 1800s, where you had the Dixie Democrats running on parties of hate and the Ku Klux.
Oh, by the way, Dixie Chicks. Remember the group Dixie Chicks? They're not the Dixie Chicks anymore. I guess they're just
Woodrow Wilson. He was the president of Princeton University. And they taken down his name around the buildings on Princeton. This is a Democrat they're going after, but that's in a whole nother subject. Whatever.
Tim Bryce, the Bryce is Right, author of the book Before You Vote, Know How Your Government Works, Why American Youth Should Know About Government. Tim, I think every kid should get that in their graduation stocking. I think that, in fact, there should be 2 copies there, one for the kids, one for their teachers.
I think you'll like my column I've got coming up for Tuesday. It's an open letter to the GOP, and I'm saying to the GOP, it's time to get off our buns, boys. Things are not going that well. You got to get a little stug, as I call it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what stug means on Tuesday.
All right. Where can they find that column, Tim?
TimBryce.com. BRYCE. TimBryce.com. Or just look on the internet. You'll find me.
Tim Bryce, always love having you on, my friend.
Keep the faith.
You bet. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to have another longtime friend join us, Rachel Alexander. She's a political columnist and a founder and editor of Intellectual Conservative. She's going to tell her own personal story, The Left Jussie Smolletted Me by Rachel Alexander. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Rachel.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, for rebroadcast of our show, check out that website of ours, CCRshow.com. That's CCRshow.com. Be sure to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And Sharron, our next guest, is with us, and she's a longtime friend of the show. And as you do with all our guests, please make her feel welcome.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Rachel Alexander, who's a political columnist and the founder and editor of Intellectual Conservative. She's a regular contributor to Town Hall, the Celis Foundation for Public Policy Research, the Christian Post, and Right Wing News. She frequently appears on TV and news radio as a conservative commentator and hosted a radio show on 960 KKNT in Phoenix. She previously served as the Assistant Attorney General for the state of Arizona, corporate attorney for GoDaddy Software, and she was ranked by Right Wing News as one of the 50 best conservative columnists and is a recipient of the Americans for Prosperity Right Online Activists of the Year Award. Rachel, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure.
Well, it's our pleasure. And now we want to talk about what a lightning rod you are. You have written an article, The Left Jussie Smolletted Me. I read this article and I had deja vu of 2010, but this is like 20 times worse than what I went through as a conservative running against Harry Reid. I thought I had seen everything when I saw my picture up on the internet in a tinfoil hat, but it gets worse, Rachel. It gets worse. Talk to us a little bit about how Jussie Smollett has now become a verb, and who's doing this to you?
Well, Jussie Smollett has become a verb because there are so many people out there now making up fake racism incidents that never actually occurred. And they're getting caught, and he was probably the biggest, most famous one to get caught. And so when this happened to me, I knew they're really going after everyone. Because if you read my article and you know me, I don't use swear words. I don't use racist terms. So what they did to me, they're desperate. I run a site called Intellectual Conservative, and I'm not that provocative. I'm not Ann Coulter, So for them to come after me means they are really going after everybody. And we know that they're doxing just, regular people, who have a job, nobody famous. They are dipping down and getting so many of us. And this one that happened to me was insane because they photoshopped something on Facebook to make it look like I said F Black Lives Matter over and over and over again. And that just launched the most worst, vile attacks I have ever received in my entire life.
Well, that, I guess, is one of the things that's the most stunning about this movement is their language. It's hard to be around them. There is no hold barred on the words that they use, and the most filthy words. But what struck me about your column is 3 times you say a good friend of mine, friends, and a friend of mine. What kind of friends do you have here with friends like these who needs enemies? I mean, you talk about them, and it's like they turned you into the shock police, into this bunch that wants to get rid of you or get even with you or something. I was just amazed at the betrayal that I saw in your column as well.
Well, and maybe we need to change the word friend on Facebook to connection or something, because, I've got over 10,000 Facebook friends on my account, but are they really a friend? The one guy who I think is the one who turned me into these evil people and got it all started, I've never met him. I've just had a few conversations with him on Facebook, and he was always polite in the past until this incident. And so, but what do you do? I mean, I'm a writer. I really need to get out there and get my columns out there. So I don't want to eliminate all these friends on Facebook, and I really don't want to shut my account and make it private because, Facebook limits you. So I keep it public so all the followers can see my posts.
Well, and I agree. After 2010, I went through my 5,000 friends to look and see who was really my friend, because I thought these guys are using my Facebook posts against me. And then I look down here. You say you have 10,000, and you have a Facebook group out there that's called, what, Expose Your Local Racists, and they have 18,000 members?
Yeah, and it gets even worse. I don't think I put this in the article. In that horrible group where all they do is try to say, this person used racism, let's go get them fired. That's all they do all day long in that group. And the posts come fast and furious. Every couple minutes there's a new post. I am not exaggerating. Well, the woman who told my friend about this post about me being in that group immediately shut it down once my friend, a real friend, told her, that's not Rachel. You have a different Rachel. And there were some posts of this screenshot that had another woman's face next to it. So I wonder if there's another Rachel Alexander out there who really did post that. But my point being, after that friend of a friend shut everyone down in the group, she said there are some other groups out here like that on Facebook, like a bunch. So this is going on even more exponentially than the 18,000 people who are members of that group.
So how do you get to be on Facebook with a name like Expose Your Local Racist? I would think that would be enough to get you kicked off of Facebook. I mean, we get kicked off of Facebook for lesser infractions. So how come Facebook is not seeing to these folks that are obviously out there? This is like a hate group telling you they're a hate group.
Yeah, I'm sure it comes down to they're on the left and you guys are on the right. So any little thing that, they can try to point to about you, they will use to take you out. And these other lefties, they get away with anything. And, I know we've complained to Facebook now, hopefully an insider, and they will be looking into this group But as far as I know, we haven't heard anything back yet from Facebook about it, and the group's still out there.
Well, one of the terms that interested me is one said that you'd been catfished. What does that mean?
You know, I looked up the meaning, and there's actually a movie out there, I think, called Catfish. It's a new term, and I think it means you fake somebody into like dating you online. Like you put all this stuff out there, and it's not really you; it's somebody else. So the term doesn't quite fit exactly, but they were admitting they knew that this was a Photoshop. 2 people admitted it, and they still came at me with profanity. Like, now you know I'm not a racist, so why are you using these horrible terms against me?
So this is directed at the people that employ you, because you mentioned that other people have lost their jobs over this kind of stuff. How do we get to employers to say, don't look at Facebook, this stuff is just bogus?
Yeah, and what's troubling is there are a lot of employers out there who don't understand Facebook. So let's say, one of these groups goes nuts and starts contacting that employer nonstop. Some of these guys at the top running the company don't realize, okay, this is going to die down. This is going to go away. If you search this employee's name on the internet and with the term racist or whatever they're going after him for, you won't find anything. Like, if you search my name on the internet with racist, you can't find anything other than, me talking about this, because this incident, it came and it went. And, I haven't received a nasty thing from them in a few days. It did go on for like 2 weeks, though.
Wow. So they make it go on long enough to make sure that everybody who's interested in you probably knows, or at least is looking at this and going, what's going on here? The other thing, I guess, about employers, it seems like they're running scared. We were talking previously to a previous guest about how corporate America seems to be responding out of fear to this whole protesting group, changing their name, rebranding themselves. So is it partly ignorance, or is it partly fear that makes these guys say, nope, you don't have a job anymore here? I guess I want to come down to, how do we give our company some backbone?
Yeah, and I think you're right on both of those counts. I think it is ignorance, and I think it is fear, because, ignorance is, what I told you. They don't understand how Facebook works necessarily, that this is going to go away, their employee's going to be just fine. And then the fear is that because they don't understand, the fear is that it's really going to hurt their company, and it's going to blow up into some huge thing that's, all over. Like this incident with me did not blow up into a huge incident that's not over the internet, that's all over the internet. And so, yeah, I don't know what we can do to educate these companies, because so many of them are run by the left wing, and they are terrified of the far left wing labeling them as racist or homophobic or, whatever it is they want to accuse conservatives of being. Maybe, an educational campaign. If someone with deep pockets in the conservative movement can come up with a specific, campaign saying, and you got to have some catchy phrase words and stuff just to educate these CEOs.
Well, we're up against a break. We've been talking with Rachel Alexander about her article, The Left Jussie Smolletted Me, which means actually that nobody's job is safe. If they decide to target you, kiss your career goodbye. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host Rick Trader, and we'll be right back with Rachel Alexander.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. One more time, a shout out to folks who are listening to us and on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., as well as seen on the AUN television network. Rachel Alexander is our guest. She's a political columnist, and she's the founder and editor of Intellectual Conservative. And we're discussing not just an article that she wrote, but in what's been going on in her life that the left Jussie Smolletted her, or me, referring to Rachel. Rachel, thank you for holding through that break. We really do appreciate your time. Wow, Rachel, this has been a real nightmare for you. And what I believe it comes down to is the left has learned that intimidation works. Fear-mongering works. And I'm afraid it works because we let them get away with it. That we really need to stand up to these groups like Facebook, also individuals who have done this to you. Have you considered bringing suits against Facebook? Have you considered bringing lawsuits against these individuals who have ruined your life?
Yeah, the main one that's occurred to me is if Facebook will tell me who first uploaded that doctored image of me, and you know they have the capability to do that, I have thought about suing that person. And
well, can't you take Facebook to court to get that information?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I could. It just gets more complex and more legal costs, and I am not a very wealthy person. So, you know, what am I going to do? Do the whole case myself?
You need to get a GoFundMe going.
Well, that's not a bad idea. I had not thought of that either. I hate asking for money, but I'm not a politician.
See, because, again, this emboldens these people. They'll use you as an example. See, look what we've done to this person. And there's nothing that they can do to get back at us. Have you thought about trying to find out who these people are? And maybe talk to their bosses. Try to find out where they work. Report to their bosses what these people have done to you.
That's a lot of people, but, you know, I never actually thought of going quite that far. But, I mean, these people all, you know, had the nerve to post under their Facebook accounts with their name on my page saying the most horrible, vile swear words. And to be frank with you, most of these people, if they had a job listed at all, it was like McDonald's. So, you know, the odds are if I get them fired from McDonald's, they're probably going to be able to get another fast food job even if I do get them fired.
Well, that's a shame. Well, one thing, you know, you talk about, well, what do we do with these corporations? I think we as conservatives need to use our economic power as a second vote. There's an organization out there called Second Vote. We've had them on here many times, but so I'll steal their title. Use our economic power as a second vote. And that one thing that I don't do, and I even post this up on Facebook, I refuse to patronize any Facebook advertiser. And when I have nothing to do, which is a rare thing, I'll go on Facebook and I'll go down and I will post it. You know how they have these ads? I will make a post under this. I refuse to support any company or buy products from any company that does business or advertises on Facebook. Now, if you have 5 people or 10 people do it, well, it might not make a difference. But if it starts to be a movement, just like these people have created a movement to be so nasty and horrible, well, maybe at one point it will have an effect. And maybe the people who do business with businesses like Facebook will start to think, hey, we need to start thinking about pulling back our advertising from Facebook. And it doesn't take a lot. For instance, look what Jesse Jackson has done with his Rainbow Push Coalition. He has blackmailed companies He has blackmailed companies into donating to his company. You know, look and I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there crazily, Rachel. Am I thinking too far outside the box? You think it's time that we, as conservatives, stop putting up with this excrement and fight back?
I love it. I love your creativity, and I'm glad you're thinking of these things. I had not yet thought that far of boycotting Facebook's advertisers. But there are a lot of things, you know, conservatives discuss boycotting, and we've done a few of them. Wow, this one's different, and it'll be tricky because we all have our own Facebook accounts, and you know, my career pretty much depends on Facebook, and I'm, you know, currently in the process of doing a new venture to promote a website, and the main way you got to promote it, you know, you get 1 million fans on Facebook. So if we did it, we just have to be careful how we went about doing it, so Facebook wouldn't like crack down on those of us who still need it. You know, it would be a delicate balancing act.
Well, in your article, Rachel, you write, I hold myself out on Facebook as an evangelical Christian. I don't hate Black Lives Matter. My beef is with Antifa. Why do you have a beef with Antifa?
Because of the violence. You know, a lot of these black protests start out peacefully. And then all of a sudden you see the skinny white guys with all their black clothing, like they're trying to look black or something, but they're really not, you know, and their masks. All of a sudden you see them, and they've always got sticks and weapons, and they just take over. And, you know, I'm sure they get some of the black people to engage in the violence as well, but they seem to be the ones leading it for the most part. And I just think they're vile because they don't represent what blacks think. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all the videos that I have, you know, of other black people out there just saying, you don't speak for us, Antifa, you know, stop this. You're making us look bad.
Rachel Alexander, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. Rachel, tell us and our audience how we could keep track of what you're doing, what you're writing.
Go to Intellectual Conservative, and you know, you can click on my archives and bio, and I've got links to all my articles, and you can sign up for them, and everything should be in that one place.
Well, Rachel Alexander, we know you as a very good person.
Oh,
we are so sorry that you're going through all this. I'm so sorry that these mean, spiteful, ignorant, arrogant people think that this is fun or funny or this is how they get their point across. But I think they're going to lose in the end. I really do. I really do. Rachel, again, God bless you. Take care, and thank you for joining us here on the Conservative Commandos radio show.
You too. God bless.
And this is the Conservative Commandos. I'm Rick Trader. My co-host is Sharron Engel. Don't go away. Sharron and I will be back with more right after this break.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Well, Sharron, that just about wraps it up for today. I want to thank you for sitting in as my co-host and tell our friends out there how they can keep track of what you're up to when you're not here on Conservative Commandos with Melissa or Nasser or George or myself.
Well, it's very simple. SharonAngle.com, SharonAngle.com. I want to thank our guests. They are what makes this show good. And it's wonderful to be able to thank them. Old-time friends. We have Congressman Bob Barr, talking about the dumbest generation grows dumber and what that all entails, the dumbing down of America, really. Thank you to Tim Bryce in his article, The Summer of Hate, as opposed to The Summer of Love in '67. We got to go down some memory lane with him. And finally, to Rachel Alexander and her column, The Left Jussie Smolletted Me, just made me deja vu back to 2010 when they were putting tinfoiled hats on me through Photoshop and doxing me and all of those kinds of things. I thought I had it bad, but I mean they've grown exponentially in their nastiness.
Indeed they have. Indeed they have. But for right now, we're out of time. We got to run and we got to go. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.
Hey everybody, coming to you from my little Zoom studio here, and you need to hear this because you're being bombarded right now with these really over-the-top accusations against the president that he's got blood on his hands, that his denial and delay has cost lives, and that basically he took no action until it was too late. The question is any of this true? All right, let's start back in January. January 15th, the first patient with coronavirus enters the United States from Wuhan. That was also the same day that these impeachment pens were being handed out. But luckily, the administration was on top of it. A couple of days later, January 17th, they were already implementing screenings at San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York airports for flights coming in from Wuhan. But still, even about a week later, our mainstream media was still promoting things like this. Doctors saying, hey, this isn't a big deal, not much more dangerous than the flu. Nevertheless, President Trump did implement that travel restriction on January 31st, even though things like the World Health Organization were saying no need to limit trade and movement. And they largely criticized President Trump's travel restrictions. Same day, January 31st, that Nancy Pelosi proposed the No Ban Act, which would actually stop President Trump from implementing the life-saving travel restrictions that he did implement. So was everybody else really sounding the alarm at this point in time? No, of course not. Headlines like these were being written, and constantly, and by mainstream outlets. Again, I don't blame them. These are the facts they had at the time. Adam Schiff, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, was getting regular updates in that committee, but he didn't even publicly talk about coronavirus until February 25th. And let's not forget that President Trump did talk about the coronavirus in the State of the Union on February 4th. What happened to that State of the Union? That happened. So fast forward a couple of weeks when the president actually asked Congress for supplemental funding to combat the virus, $2.5 billion. What did Nancy Pelosi do? Instead of putting that money on the House floor to be voted on, she put a bill to ban flavored tobacco. That was the priority of the Speaker of the House. You also hear a lot of criticism for Trump being overly optimistic. But this is what Nancy Pelosi was saying in late February, telling people to go out and enjoy themselves for the Chinese New Year.
Come to Chinatown. Here we are.
Same with Bill de Blasio in New York City. I want to be clear, I'm not blaming them either. We all have the same set of facts. Even around the world, places like Italy and Spain and Iran, their cases didn't start to spike until early March. And even they didn't lock down. Italy didn't lock down until March 10th. Spain didn't lock down until March 14th. Iran, not until April 4th. Places like Sweden didn't lock down at all. As these countries locked down, were we just doing nothing? No, of course not. President Trump implemented travel restrictions from Europe on March 12th. And what did the media say? All of that. All of that. Widespread criticism. How could you do this? What's the point of this? Well, does this really sound like an administration that's in denial about this? Of course not. And a few days later, we implemented our own 15 days to slow the spread, which then turned into 30 more days. Okay, fine, say the critics, but what about the PPE? We were well behind. We should have had more in the national stockpile. Yeah, that's true. But USA Today did a fact check on this. As it turns out, most of our stockpile was depleted after the H1N1 virus. Okay? And the Obama administration never replenished it. That's the truth. Am I blaming them? No, not really. They don't have a crystal ball. What about the testing? We were behind on that. And that's President Trump's fault, right? Well, no, not so simple. Early on, the CDC started to develop a test, but China refused to give them actual samples of the virus, so it was harder to make a test. And also, they didn't do a great job of it. Also, long-standing FDA regulations prevented our private industry from actually developing tests. The Trump administration reversed those regulations that had been around for well over a decade. This is the main point here. If we're going to look back in time and try to suggest that our government should have shut everything down back in February, well, where's the evidence for that? We're really going to shut things down when our cases hadn't really started to increase? When it barely started to increase in places like Italy or Iran? Of course not. They didn't shut things down till way later. Do you really think that we should have lost tens of millions more of jobs and livelihoods based on almost no evidence at the time? Is that really a reasonable expectation? Is that really a reasonable accusation? No, I don't think so. Listen, I don't want to blame Democrats for this at all. I don't think we should. I don't think there's a lot of people to blame for this, except for China, of course. It would be time for all of us to give each other a little bit of grace and understand that at the local, state, and federal level, everybody is doing their best to fight the pandemic, and we're going to need to stop the dishonest finger pointing as we move into the next phase, where we figure out how to reopen our economy and fight the pandemic alongside that. Thanks for listening.